Hello! So you've decided you want to make some protein pancakes. So first off, before we get started, I do want to say the best source of protein is from actual food sources and not from powders or supplements. But if you are looking to increase your protein intake because you are strength training and looking to rebuild your muscles faster and just need a boost of protein intake that you're not getting from lean protein sources, chicken, eggs, or things of that nature, then this will be a great way to supplement and boost your protein intake to help speed up recovery of your muscles and rebuild them faster. So to get started, you are going to need 3/4 cup of water and a tablespoon of dried coconut powder, because we'll be making coconut milk. But if you already have coconut milk or oat milk or some other milk that you'd like to use, go ahead and use 3/4 cup of that. And make sure it's warm, because we'll be adding in that scoop of protein powder so that it dissolves in there well. The protein powder that I'm using is now whey protein powder. This is a large bag, 10 pounds. I'm not a huge protein intake person. Usually it's 1 scoop a day when I'm strength training. But this is the vanilla flavor and it has the touch of sweetness, so we won't be adding in any sugar to this protein pancake recipe. So using 1 scoop of protein powder, adding that in to the warm water or your warm milk. I'll also go ahead and add in 1 tablespoon of the dried coconut milk powder to make my coconut milk. Mix it up with a fork until it's incorporated, and then we'll add in 1 egg. Mix that egg in there with your milk and protein powder. Now we'll add in the flour. So for the flour, I like to mix it up and grind my own oatmeal flour. So I'll take 1/2 cup of oatmeal, stick it in a coffee grinder, and then grind that up until it's a flour consistency, and then add in 1/4 cup of quinoa flour and then 1/4 cup of regular white flour. So for these different flours, you could experiment and try out different flavors, see which ones you like best. But I did find that the measurements that I use, 1/2 cup of the oat, 1/4 of quinoa, and 1/4 cup of regular, works really well, and I like the flavor of it. So to grind up your oatmeal for some oat flour, take 1/2 cup of oatmeal, grind that up. Now you have a nice flour consistency of the oatmeal. I'll put it into our mixture here. And also add in 1/4 cup of quinoa flour and 1/4 cup of regular flour. And now we'll add in the salt, baking powder, and baking soda. For the salt, I use 1/4 teaspoon and then 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Now you have your ingredients in your mixing cup or bowl. Now we'll incorporate the flour until it's just nicely mixed into the milk. So don't over mix it here. Mix it just to incorporate so that you don't get tough pancakes. So now our pancake batter is ready, and now you could heat up your skillet onto a medium heat, and we're gonna get ready to cook it. So once the skillet is warming up, this mixture is gonna start to bubble. So the baking powder and soda is going to start working to give the pancakes a nice lift to have them be fluffy. So now our skillet is warmed up on nice medium heat. We're going to start making the pancakes. So I also like to add the chocolate chips on top of the pancakes onto one side once it's started cooking. If I add it into the mixture, I find that sometimes the chocolate chips sink down because they're dense or heavy. And that way I could also control how many chocolate chips I put onto my pancake, so it's nice and evenly dispersed. And drop in the batter by spoonfuls if you want to control the amount of batter you're pouring onto your skillet. And it might be too thick to pour out of your measuring cup, so that's why I'm using a spoon as well. And once the pancakes start to bubble at the top, you can get ready to flip them over because they're cooked on that side. Also check to make sure that they're brown on the side before flipping it over. If your skillet is too hot, they might start to burn on one side, but they won't be cooked through once you flip it over and it browns on that side as well. So when you bite into it, it might be uncooked dough in the middle, and you want to try to avoid that. So set your heat to a medium-low and flip your pancakes when you could start to see the bubbles forming at the top of the uncooked batter. And here's the plate of pancakes that we just made. There's about 14 mini pancakes, so you can enjoy these for several servings. I'll put the macros in the description. And this is a healthier alternative than the store-bought frozen pancakes that you might find in the freezer section. So try out this recipe and let me know what you think, because I think these are pretty good.